Morning traders, Paul here with GammaEdge. Today is Friday, the 19th of May. Let's get started. Pause your players here, read to the very bottom. If you agree, hit that play button. Summary for today, the short-term market model, which really involves our 0DT and swing traders. The cumulative tick closed above the previous day, continuation day up. The railroad track pattern, which many of you are aware of. It's a little slower to react, but it's a little more conformational because it has some momentum in it. It has a trigger day up based on yesterday. All of this said, as most of you are aware, the ribbon is horizontal, which means we are flat for about a month. So we whipsaw back and forth. And when we whipsaw, you need to shorten the duration of your trades. You need to get smaller because you don't know which direction you're going to be going. Long-term market model, I will call it weekly bullish. There are a lot of indications that we're just not getting the broad participation that's necessary. So with that in mind, just be aware that things can flip again to the whipsaw comment that I just said. Transition range, which we think is very important. We closed at 41.98. The lower transition range is 41.40. So if we do head south, watch for a sentiment change below that 41.40 zone. The upper transition is 41.80. So in this range of 41.40 to 41.80, we have low pressure. When we have low pressure, we're going to just basically park. We would not be surprised tonight if we closed Friday in this 41.80 to 41.40 range. Not surprised at all. That said, minus GEX 3,900 plus GEX. It's large, opportunistic at 4,200, and we have major lines up at 4,225, 4,250, and 4,300. Clearly, the indications are to the upside, even though the transition range is 41.40 to 41.80. What does this mean? This means that we are extended. We are extremely extended over the transition range. Transition is typically mean reverting. We think of a rubber band. We are extremely pushed to the north or up that chain. 42.25 would be the first target. You'll see this on a couple charts, and if we take that, we can talk about what potentially could happen. We do think 4,300 is a possibility. We don't think it's a possibility today or early next week. 41.30 is the 0DTE for negative transition. So today, that is the absolute low level in the sand. And if we go below 41.30, sentiment's going to really change a dramatic amount. 41.80, as I indicated, that's the upper transition for the 0DTE. It's also the upper transition for the SPX combo. When you have these transition ranges overlap in multiple time frames, they become very strong and worthwhile to pay attention to. The upper charm strike today is 42.20. 42.25 is just as strong. So if we take 42.25, you need to pay attention because that will push a lot of out-of-the-money calls into the money and could propel us higher. We do anticipate stalling above the 42.25 unless we see targeting. You can watch that value SPX command just to get an idea of what's going on. The lower charm strike, 41.75 and 41.70. So we've got this double structure at 42.20, 42.25, 41.75, and 41.70. Just be aware of all of that. Again, run the value command within the Discord, and you'll be able to watch intraday, real time, where people are targeting. The SPX PM complex, so this does not include the AM settled, which will come off at the open this morning. Basically, 4,200 is indicated. We closed at 41.98. We've got the transition ranges that I'm talking about. In general, you can see COI sitting here. Fairly strong, and you can see that we've got a lot of runway all the way on up to this 43.20, which is the JPN end of month, end of quarter, June expiry. So we've got 39,600 short calls sitting up there. It's causing this negative gamma on the trader side of the table. So be aware of that. That's important. We do think that for now represents an upper bound to where we can go between now and the end of the month. end of next month. Now, that can all change if people continue to target above. Just like we did at the end of March, we could certainly target above this and pull right through that. If anyone doesn't understand that, I would urge everyone to go back to our videos that were at the end of March, where we were talking about 40.65, and as most of you are aware, that Thursday, Friday into the end of March, we actually pushed up to 4100. Very, very important to understand the dynamics that can happen there. All of that said, we got a lot of real estate to plow through, so we are bullish in the SPX PM settled complex, but it's going to take some work to get up there. Taking a look at the 0 DTE, as I indicated, here's that double structure to the north, double structure to the south. Here's where really the dominant charm strike is going to be for 42.20 today, 41.75 to the downside. So just be aware of that. But of course, 4200 is big. As we move north, this will become in the money. It's right now, it's out of the money, and that's important. This does not include the AM settled. This is just the PM settled for the end of day. So we've got quite a bit coming off there. And as we move north, more and more of the out of the money calls will go in the money, and that'll be constructive to positive charm flow. The 1 DTE, which is Monday's view, again, very, very strong 4200 line. You can see all the way up to 4220, and then we start to taper off. So again, watching the targeting today for Monday will be important. That'll give us some indications if we're going to get pulled up and if we're going to remain up there. To the downside, 4130, 4160 is important. 4105 indicated as Monday's low charm strike. Crystal ball view into next week. Pretty clean what's going to happen if nothing changes. Now, of course, we know things are going to change, but just be aware. 4250 is indicated as the upside target for next week. We've got positive deltas across the board all the way on down to 4045. We've got the dominant dominant COI sitting right here at 4200. That's going to remain there until these come off. All of the structure needs to be navigated next week until it expires. So sequencing is important, and I just want everyone to pay attention to that. So how these structures change as the expiry takes place will determine how we move up, and of course 0 DTE, 1 DTE, intraday trades, and how this is targeted and how this is targeted will determine if we go up or down. The combo complex, first of all, extremely large total open interest in the complex. We rarely see this. This is an extremely large net gamma level, call dominated level that we're seeing here. Here's that JPM strike here at 4320, and you can see the dominant levels 4300, 4250. We got that double structure at 4220, 4225, and then 4200 is the key plus GEX level with the transition indicated between 4140 and 4180. Just keep this in mind. You can see in the delta column, green as far as the eye can see, and it's very strong, right? So again, very bullish, very important setup. The runway to the north, all the way up to 4320 is in place. Same thing to the south. We are clearly in a lower volatility environment. It's something for everybody to be aware of. And we do anticipate a little bit of grinding here as we weed out today, tomorrow, and into not tomorrow, but Monday, and into the balance of the week past the expiry. Taking a look at the overall combo structure here, what's important here is this 4180. You can see this major line here. Then we get into a broken transition where we got some negative, we got some positive, and then we go negative again. Left goalpost 3900. You can see as we move up, the gamma gets weaker and weaker and weaker. That's important. You can also see it's asymmetric right here. We're actually, I like to see this type of pattern where you've got, the 3900, the 3800, the 3736, when they all kind of fall off almost in a straight line. We're not seeing that, from the 4000, 4100 zone. That means there's not a lot of fear in the markets, and that's important. The 4140 does represent where we see a major sentiment change overall. Be aware of that. And then 4300, of course, right here is a big deal. You can see the magnitudes and the targeting at 4300, and then minor levels at 4250. We got 42,000 sitting right there. in net gamma, and then 37,000 sitting at the 42.25 line. So just be aware, we are heavily one side of the boat right now. When we are imbalanced like this, something's got to give. So just be aware. Don't get out over your ski tips. Play it opportunistically. Shorten your timelines. Clearly, the upside target's 4,300. We probably are bound by that JPM 4,320 until we get more up at the 4,400 line. But nevertheless, just be aware of what's going on up there. So that's it for today. If you have any questions or comments, come on in to GammaEdge.us. A lot going on there. We have a great group of traders active in voice. Ask your questions. 14-day free trial. All the tools turned on. So go to GammaEdge.us. Upper right-hand corner, pricing tab. Click it and fill out the blanks. And hope to see you in the Discord. Follow us on Twitter, please. GammaEdges with an S. We just passed 6,000 followers and want to thank everyone for that. And then on YouTube, two things. If you like today's commentary, use a thumbs up, smash it. Let me know that I'm providing the content that you want to see. And two, make sure you subscribe so that you can get notified when we post our new videos. So with that, I bid you farewell. Make it a great Friday, a great weekend, and hope to see you in the Discord. Thanks, everyone.